drawn. Over time, Harold came to rely on her not just for care but for companionship. His wife, Margaret Whitman, was still alive and still legally married to him, but emotionally distant. Their marriage had cooled long before Alyssa entered the picture. Margaret spent much of her time out of state, visiting occasionally but rarely staying long. The house felt quiet when she wasn't there. Alyssa filled that quiet. She talked to Harold during meals, sat with him in the evenings, watched television with him when his nights grew long. When Alyssa had no childcare and brought Noah with her, Harold welcomed the boy without hesitation. He bought Noah books. He taught him chess. He told him stories about the buildings he once owned and deals he wished he'd handled differently. To Harold, Alyssa became the bridge between his past and the present. Years passed. Alyssa watched Harold age in small, incremental ways. Slower movements, longer naps, moments of frustration when his body couldn't do what his mind still wanted. Through it all, she remained steady. Their relationship changed slowly, almost imperceptibly at first. It began emotionally. Late-night conversations stretched longer. Topics grew more personal. Alyssa spoke about Marcus, about becoming a mother overnight, about exhaustion and fear and responsibility. Harold spoke about loneliness, about feeling invisible to his own family, about being surrounded by people who cared more about his estate than his well-being. One evening, after Alyssa helped him into bed following a particularly difficult day, Harold said quietly, "You're the only person who sees me anymore." Alyssa didn't respond immediately. She didn't pull away when he reached for her hand. The first kiss happened weeks later. It was brief and uncertain, neither of them fully acknowledging what it meant. But the line had been crossed. From that point on, their relationship existed in a space neither openly defined. It was not something Alyssa spoke about. It was not something Harold discussed with anyone else. They didn't hide from the cameras in the house. They didn't think about them at all. Small moments were captured without meaning at the time. A kiss near the staircase, her sitting beside him instead of across from him, her head resting on his shoulder while they watched television. To them, it felt private. To others, later, it would look scandalous. Alyssa never asked Harold for money. She never hinted at inheritance. She never requested gifts or special treatment. She continued working, continued caring for him, continued raising her son in a modest apartment far from the estate. But Harold began making decisions quietly. As his health declined, lawyers visited more frequently. Doctors evaluated him. Psychiatrists assessed his mental clarity. Every report confirmed the same thing. Harold Whitman was competent, aware, and deliberate. Without informing his family, Harold revised his will. He left everything to Alyssa Grant. $27 million. The estate, the accounts, the investments, not to his wife, not to his sons, to the woman who had become his emotional anchor. When Harold died peacefully in his sleep just weeks after the footage of their kiss was recorded, the house went silent. Alyssa was devastated. Staff members later described her sitting beside his bed long after he passed, holding his hand, crying openly. She did not